Good afternoon. You're watching The Big Story with me, Arti Subramaniam. The Indian Health Ministry's Joint Monitoring Committee today held a meeting to discuss the new COVID strain that has been reported from the United Kingdom. Remember, the new strain is apparently 70% more transmissible compared to the earlier strain. However, reacting to a question on banning flights from the UK, as a number of other European countries have done, the Union Health Minister has said that there is no need to indulge in imaginary panic right now and reiterated that the centre has always taken action in people's interest.
फैल गया है कि जो ब्रिटेन में जो वायरस का नया स्ट्रेन आ गया, अब ये मांग की जा रही है, यहाँ तक मांग की जा रही है कि जो फ्लाइट्स हैं वो यूके से उसको बैन किया जाए. तो हमारी सरकार की क्या तैयारी है नए स्ट्रेन को लेकर और कितने डेडली है? सर हिंदी में प्लीज, सर हिंदी में.
मैं सिर्फ आपसे सबसे ये कहूँगा कि अभी ये सब इमेजिनरी सिचुएशंस, इमेजिनरी बातें, इमेजिनरी पैनिक, इन सब के अंदर आप अपने आप को मत उलझाइए. सरकार हर बात के लिए पूरी तरह से सजग है और जैसे पिछले एक साल में आपने देखा कि सरकार ने आवश्यकता के अनुरूप जनता के हितों की रक्षा करने के लिए जो जिस समय पर आवश्यकता किया, वो सारी चीज़ें सरकार देख रही है.
Okay, so should we panic? What do we need to know about this new virus and where does that put us in our battle against COVID? To understand all these issues, Dr. Anish Sinha, who's the Associate Professor at IIPH Gandhinagar, who's also worked for the WHO and UNDP on their vaccines and immunization program, joins us for more. Dr. Sinha, thank you so much, first of all, for joining us. There are a lot of people who have concerns, queries about this new strain of virus. Let me just start off by asking you, we just heard the health minister say there's no need to panic about an imaginary situation, but this isn't imaginary. There's obviously a new strain of virus that has been reported in the UK, in Netherlands, and also in South Africa. Just tell us what we know about this new strain of virus and how it compares to the current existing one.
Okay, just to understand this new strain of virus which has come up in UK, to be very frank, even the epidemiology of the original SARS coronavirus 2 is still emerging. So the information available to us about this new variant is very limited at the moment. And just to go back a bit of the UK COVID epidemic, the peak cases of COVID in UK was in April, started in March, and then it peaked in April, in early May, and then the cases dropped down drastically in June, July, August. And there has been a steady peak increasing cases of COVID in UK from September. And it was at that time that this new variant was detected. However, it was confirmed on a later date, but it was detected. And ever since, from September, October, November, there has been rising cases of COVID in UK, and now they're getting cases almost 25,000 on a daily basis. So one thing is clear, that this has a very high transmissibility compared to the original SARS COVID-19 virus. So, and there has been a discussion that it's almost 70% more transmissible. So the number of cases has increased significantly. And but another thing is important to understand also, that the severity of the disease has not been impacted. It's not that the transmission is very high, so the severity of the disease will also be very severe. So that's not the case. So fortunately, the severity of disease is not increased. And in fact, if you compare between the July and between the April, the peak of COVID, and the current peaks in UK, the mortality, the percentage of the mortality in proportion to the number of cases has come down. Of course, there are other reasons also, because of the better treatment protocols, management system, and more awareness of the community. So the virulence of the virus has not increased to an extent that we can conclude at the moment, but only further investigations will throw more light on this.
Okay, so that's important, that the virulence of the virus has not increased. But how does that affect really the vaccine development? Now, everybody was really looking forward to 2021 because we thought a vaccine, especially in India, is just around the corner. We've seen thousands of people already vaccinated in the UK. So does this new strain actually impact the vaccine? Is it going to have any, is it going to reduce the efficacy of that vaccine in any way?
At the moment, with the information, see, all these vaccines, they are trying to, though developed on different platform, but generate an immune response against the spike protein, and a broad-based antibody will be developed. This is what the basic concept of these vaccines. So because there will be a broad antibody spectrum that will be there, so at the moment, it doesn't look like that this will affect the whole plan and the vaccination systems. And it seems that vaccines will be effective and the efficacy may not be reduced significantly against this new variant also. So the vaccines will definitely work. It seems as of now, they will work against this new variant of coronavirus also.
Well, Dr. Sinha, even as we speak right now, there is a lot of discussion and debate happening by the powers that be, whether or not we should impose a travel ban to and from the UK. It's something that I think large number of countries in Europe themselves have done. Do you think something like that is necessary? How do you think India can prevent itself, especially at a time when we've actually seen a dramatic fall in our COVID cases over the past couple of months?
Yeah, I'm sure. See, this is a decision that will be taken by the government, and the European countries have been mulling and they are formulating their strategy, and they are putting up travel restrictions and flight bans from UK. So looking at the situation and the speed with which it is increasing in UK, I'm sure our government will also take an appropriate decision, and there may be a situation that may warrant imposing some such sort of a bans from travel or restrictions to UK, but only a time, and the government is already convening on this and may take a decision soon.
Well, they may. I think there is going to be an announcement of some nature expected shortly, but the health minister did say that there is no need to panic and the government is completely abreast of the situation. Dr. Sinha, just finally, obviously this is a subject that not many Indians, including myself, are very well aware of. There's a lot of knowledge to be gained in this, and I think people like you are the best place to explain to us, how do viruses mutate? What is this process that happens?
Yeah.
And do they always mutate? Is it an extraordinary situation? Is this normally something that occurs often?
See, mutation is a very normal thing, and it's actually an inherent ability or property of the viruses to mutate. This is nothing new in this. However, this coronavirus, this COVID-19 virus, is considered to be more stable than the other influenza viruses that we have. So over a period of time, they generally tend to mutate, and it's because for their own survival that they mutate. And there are many terms used here. The two important is the antigenic shift and antigenic drift. Now, what are they? This is antigenic drift is the mutations, it's a small change or a minor change in the genetic constitution of the virus. And over a period of time, it accumulates these point mutations, and then the virus structure changes, but in a very smaller way, in a minor change is there. And that is the reason why we need flu vaccines on a yearly basis. So it's because of the antigenic drift that the influenza viruses do. The antigenic shift is another important thing. Here, there is a major change. So there is altogether a new virus develops. It's a long-term process, a major change, and but fortunately, the antigenic shift occurs very, very occasionally. It's not that frequent. So these are the two things that occur, the antigenic shift and drift, and because of which
right.
we
Dr.
call it a
Sinha,
mutation.
I do apologize for interrupting you, but we have some breaking news coming in. This is